Good morning, students. Um we have been discussing Acharya Kuntaka's Vakrokti. We have gone through the introductory description. Now we will go through the classifications of the Vakrokti. So in this part we are going to read about the first kind of Vakrokti, that is Varna Vinyasa Vakrita or phonetic obliquity. Varna Vyasa Vakrita or phonetic obliquity is one of the 6 varieties of Vakrita or obliquity. The other 5 being Pada Purvardha Vakrita, that is lexical obliquity, Pada Paradha Vakrita, grammatical obliquity, Vakya Vakrita, sentential obliquity, Prakarna Vakrita, episodic obliquity, and Prabandha Vakrita, compositional obliquity, as given by Acharya Kuntaka in his treatise Vakrokti Jivitam, written in the first half of the 11th century for the purpose of making an assessment of Kavya or literature. In this Vakrita, Kuntaka has included all possible arrangements of phonemes or consonants in Kavya. The first kind of arrangement is the free and irregular repetition of similar or identical varnas or phonemes or consonants. So at varying intervals, and this arrangement gives texture and beauty to expression. Kuntaka further divides it into 3 sub-varieties, that is the repetition of one varna, repetition of 2 varnas, and repetition of more than 2 varnas. The second kind of Varna Vinyasa Vakrita too has 3 sub-varieties. Number 1, when stops are combined with their homorganic nasals. Number 2, when liquids are doubled, and number 3, when consonants become conjugate with ra, etc. Now Kuntaka also includes the arrangement of varnas without any interval employed artistically by the writer for a high poetic charm. He calls it the third sub-variety of Varna Vinyasa Vakrita. The fourth sub-variety, according to Kuntaka, is the repetition of new vargas. He holds that a discontinuance of earlier repetition of varnas and choice of new ones also impart beauty to the expression. Mentioning the sub-varieties of Varna Vinyasa Vakrita, he remarks that the chime also falls under it and adds that chime should be affected without extra effort, and it should be adorned with syllables which are not harsh, it should be in consonance with feelings conveyed, and lastly it should be with propriety. All these sub-varieties of Varna Vinyasa Vakrita have innumerable charming effects in determining precise nature of attributes and style based on them, but they need a careful attention as they have their own limitations. Kuntaka is fully aware of these limitations. He holds that the arrangement of varnas should not violate propriety and should be in consonance with the feelings conveyed. It should be without extra effort, adorned with syllables which are not harsh. It should be very carefully chosen and should not be tarnished by unattractive varnas. The writer should beautify his work by the repetition of novel varnas, and finally, lucidity should be maintained at any cost. Kuntaka now says that writers use these sub-varieties of Varna Vinyasa Vakrita in order to impart beauty to the poetic expression. They are in fact used for various kinds of effects in various ways. Now here we can coincide it with Coleridge's poem The Rime of Ancient Mariner, which demonstrates a sound effect caused by the phonetic obliquity in the lines "the fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free." So the sound B is indicative of explosion and F suggests a movement with quickness and friction. Fair breeze, when we speak that word B, so it is a explosive consonant, and fair, it is a movement, or F, it is a movement that suggests a quickness, and the sound D or D repeats in the line day after day suggest monotony and immobility. So the ways these consonants are used, or the phonetic usages of these, let's say, these words or consonants should be kept in mind when we are making some criticism over any subject. Okay, so the writer used these are called varna vinyasa vakrita in order to impart beauty of the poetic expression. Now next type of obliquity or vakrokti is pada purvardha vakrita. The pada purvardha vakrita or the lexical obliquity is found in the basal forms of words. According to Kuntaka, it comprises all effects based on the writer's choice of words, the choice which is guided by strangeness, evocativeness, commonness, or freshness of words. There are words that can impart strangeness and freshness to a writer's utterance. There are other words which make kavya one of the joys in widest commonality spread by very plainness and commonness. There are yet other words which make kavya richly and deeply evocative, and one with soul stress that lies in the music of the words. And finally, there are words which become luminous centers of transfigured meaning and of imaginative association, quintessential words. So, Pada Purvartha Vakrita or lexical obliquity is related to, let's say, vocabulary. The kind of vocabulary the writer uses should be effective, and he should be judged on the basis of the vocabulary used by him. So such words are the wealth of vocabulary of Kavya. It is a kind of divine sureness of instinct that enables a writer to select the appropriate word from one of these categories. The temperament of a writer has also some affinity with certain categories of words, and this is one of the bases on which poetic styles are formed. One has only to examine the poetic vocabulary of writers in order to realize the affinity that exists between certain types of poetic temperament and clusters of poetic vocabulary. Kuntaka defines that when the words of common usage are employed so as to include an attribution of associate meaning other than the primary ones, we have pada purvardha vakrita, and this includes various sub varieties like ru.